Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about why the YieldMax CONY ETF could be the best performer in 2024. Let's get it. So, as you guys know, we've talked about CONY, the YieldMax ETF, before on this channel. We are really bullish on it. Main reason being is because, crypto, the Bitcoin bull run is coming up. The Bitcoin halving is next year, and crypto is probably going to be moonshotting next year. So, we're bringing this to both the dividend investors and also the crypto investors out there in the market. That's what makes this particular ETF among the YieldMax ETFs so unique. There is also the SQY ETF, the SQY, and PayPal. They both have some exposure to crypto and Bitcoin as well. And I believe PayPal just came out with their own USD or PayPal USD stablecoin or something like that. But CONY's unique because Coinbase itself is a crypto exchange, and it's been an exchange for years and years now. So since we're covering two sides of the same coin here, pun intended, get it, coin? But anyways, we're going to cover the dividend portion first, and then once we get done with that, we'll cover the actual crypto portion. So let's go ahead and get into it. As you guys can see here on the YieldMax ETF website, they have like really a lot of ETFs at this point. As a matter of fact, I don't even think we can look at them all, or maybe we can. I don't know. Oh yeah, we can. Okay, so yeah, they really have a lot. They've recently added a Moderna version, SQY, PayPal, AMD, JP Morgan, ExxonMobil, so on and so on. As you guys can see, they really have a lot now. But the one we want to be looking at is the CONY ETF. So as you guys know, they've only had one dividend payment so far. It's been $1.20 per share, which was paid out on the 16th of last month. Now, the ex-dividend date for these YieldMax ETFs is coming up. So we're going to click on that real quick just to see. So yeah, you guys can see down here. Let's scroll up real quick again. So the X date's the second column. You guys can see that basically on the 8th, that is the ex-dividend date. That pretty much gives us 2 market trading days to be able to buy the shares, or if you're able to buy the shares on the open market on the same day and you don't have to wait till the following day like with M1 Finance, then you may also get paid for the shares you bought on this day too. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so the payment is basically right around the corner. Now, the dividend payment recently was, I believe, based on roughly about 1.5 months worth of trading. It was $1.20 per share, which was pretty amazing. I couldn't even believe it. And what really sweetens the deal here is not only did you get $1.20 per share, but yeah, if you have a lot of CONY and you bought down here, you're really, really sitting pretty right now. You got serious gains going on. So that's definitely a double blessing, I would say. So let's just assume that the next dividend payment we'll be conservative here and say, because the price has gone up so much, I could say $1.20, but I'm just going to go with 80 cents. I think that's probably realistic, because if it was a month and a half worth of trading and the price currently is higher than the price was, the amount of upside was basically equal to pretty much August, but again, we didn't get the payout till October, so we haven't really seen a green month per se with the dividend payouts, so it could be higher than 120, but we'll just be conservative and say if the dividend that was $1.20 was paid out over a month and a half's worth of trading, then a month's worth of trading would be 80 cents, okay? It's pretty simple. So let's just say you bought 100 shares, which would cost you roughly around, at the current price, about $2,200, and you get 80 cents. So times 0.8, you get $80 a month. That's a lot. You could pay for like your phone bill and stuff like that with that amount. Then you get $80 a month. It would take a lot more shares of any given dividend growth stock or dividend income stock, or even some of these YieldMax ETFs, to get that much money per month with so little amount invested. So that pretty much covers the dividend portion. We'll kind of do a mix between dividends and crypto now. So basically, After the Bitcoin halving, which is going to be next year, roughly about 6 months after that, I'm expecting maybe 6 to 8 months. I'm expecting the price of Bitcoin to break 70,000 and go to new highs, and then the altcoins will go with it. CONY will be moonshotting as Bitcoin moonshots as well. So as the price rises, I am expecting the dividend to go up. How much that dividend is going to be, it's really hard to say. I mean, it could be anything from 80 cents to $1 to maybe a couple dollars a share. I know it sounds crazy, but we did just see $1.20 a share per month per share. I've literally never seen that, and I've been investing in dividend paying stocks for almost 3 years now. So it definitely shows what's possible. I'll say that. So now we'll get into the gain side. So Bitcoin, basically, we're looking at April 24th of 2024. That is roughly about 5.5 months from now until the Bitcoin halving takes place. For those of you that want the passive income, if you're buying now, I would say there's a high probability that the price of CONY will go much higher with Coinbase and Bitcoin over the next 12 months. And when it does, the dividend yield will probably go up. For those of you that are in CONY for the gains and the crypto exposure, well, there's a pretty good chance that I would say there's a pretty good chance that CONY will go up in price significantly with both Coinbase and Bitcoin as well, until Bitcoin ends up topping out on the next cycle, which that's hard to say when it's going to be, but we will try to keep you guys updated on that. So let's basically try to go ahead and figure out what the potential upside could be for CONY in terms of price appreciation. Because I know a lot of people that are investing in YieldMax funds, they're worried that the funds are going to go to zero and stuff like that. And I mean, it's possible, yes, but I would say the likelihood of that happening is not zero, but it's pretty low in terms of probability because number one, the markets generally go higher more often than they do lower. The markets have only ever gone up over time, over the long run. And, you got to understand the stock markets have been around for over 2 centuries. So that should tell you a lot about the strength and the resilience of the stock markets. And I believe the statistics are 66% of the time the markets are bullish, and the other third of the time the markets are bearish. So 2/3 of the time you're getting bullish action. But not only that, if the prices get too low, they could just do a reverse stock split where it basically increases the price but reduces the amount of available shares on the market. So that's always a possibility. A lot of companies have done that. So let's take, we don't have any previous price history from the bottom to the top for Coinbase because Coinbase went public basically roughly around the same time that Bitcoin had its first top. So we have to kind of go backwards in time here. But from the current price to the peak, you're taking a look at as much as a 4x gain. Okay. So if we take a look at, we'll go down here and take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, basically, I would estimate that it's probably fair to assume that Bitcoin could go to as much as 140,000. Again, Bitcoin topped out at about 70,000. Is it unrealistic to think that Bitcoin could basically go to or do double the previous peak? Not really. If we pretty much go from the bottom to 140, 150,000, that's going to be about a 10x. Bitcoin from the bottom to the top on the previous cycle did about a 23x. So that's actually less than half of the previous cycle. I would say that's probably a pretty conservative estimate in terms of upside potential. But if we go from the current price, we'll just we'll zoom this out. And yeah, believe it or not, guys, this is just how crazy crypto can really be. So we'll just zoom it out, say it tops out at 140,000. You're taking a look at roughly about I would say roughly about a 4x on the price of Bitcoin, similar to that of Coinbase. So we'll go back to coin here. So if Bitcoin doubles its previous price, it's fair to assume that Coinbase will probably also double its previous all-time high as well. So let's just assume that Coinbase does double the previous peak here. Instead of going to 440, it goes up to 880 a share, which, believe it or not, this is absolutely possible. It can happen. So And keep in mind that Bitcoin has gone much higher off of the bottom than Coinbase has gone off of its bottom. So, with that being said, it could do as much as a 10x. I think that's absolutely possible. But even if it only did a 4x, that would still be huge. I mean, put $1,000 in, you're going to make $4,000. That's a pretty huge return. It's actually very difficult, believe it or not, to get that in a swing trade on small cap growth stocks. Even on those, it's hard to get a 4x gain. So yeah, the price of Coinbase could do as much as a 4x and maybe all the way up to a 10x. It's possible. So if we go back to CONY here, if you guys were interested in selling at the top and receiving dividends during the entire time that Bitcoin's moonshotting along with Coinbase, I would say probably not financial advice, but the way I would do it is I would try to time the top. I would basically look at where I think the top is for Bitcoin, basically synonymize that with Coinbase and also synonymize those two with CONY. What do I mean by this? So basically when Bitcoin and Coinbase top out, that's pretty much when I'm expecting CONY to top out. Because again, it trades based on the underlyings. So if from the current price, we'll just say that CONY does a 2x, basically half of Coinbase since it's capped. 2x would be roughly, well, okay, yeah, I got to zoom out here. Sorry about this. I forgot just how crazy these crypto runs can be. So you're taking a look at roughly about a $44 price target. So you're going to make about $22 a share on this, assuming that does happen. If you had 100 shares and you made $22 a share, you're going to make as much as $2,200. And on top of that, assuming the dividend stays at 80 cents a share, you get $80 a month basically times 12 months. You're also going to get another $960 in dividends. So you could be walking away from this whole thing potentially with as much as $3,100. Don't quote me on that. Again, these are just estimates. Nothing's a guarantee, and nothing's ever a guarantee in markets or trading or investing or anything like that. So I know that the YieldMax ETFs, I believe, are capped at upside appreciation at, I think it's 5 to 15% a week or something like that. So let's just assume that over the course of, let's be real conservative here and say that over the course of 12 months, the price of CONY goes up 5% a week with Bitcoin and Coinbase going up during the bull run. Okay. So that's 60%. So if we go ahead and draw out 60% here, you could be taking a look at a $35 share price. If it were to go up 10%, or not 10% a week, but if it were to go up, okay, so 5% a month. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. 5% a month versus 10% a month. So 10% a month would be 120% gain, which is absolutely possible. You could be taking a look at as much as a $49 share. So that's about $27 in profit per share. And if we were to be ridiculous about this and say that it's going to go up 5% a week, that's 20% a month or 240% in 1 year. You could be taking a look at as much as $76 a share, or roughly about a $50 gain per share, which, on 100 shares is going to be about $5,000. So we'll take the conservative estimate here and we'll say you get $27 per share times 100 shares, $2,700 in gains. If you wanted to sell at the top, if you didn't want to sell, then that's your choice. But do understand that crypto probably will tank again at some point, unless it gets mass adoption, and even then it might. And when that happens, Coinbase and CONY probably will too. So we'll assume that during the crazy bull run that CONY is producing $1.50 per share in dividend, which is not crazy to think. We're in a bear market still, and it's giving you $1.20 per share. And you have 100 shares. So you get $150 a month times 12 months is $1,800 in dividends over the course of a year. And if we just assume the average return in terms of price over 12 months during that bull run, you could be walking away with potentially as much as $4,500 for 100 shares invested at current prices. And again, I want you guys to understand that It's not crazy to think. It's really honestly not crazy to think that CONY could go up 240% in a year. That I'm not saying to buy it. I'm not giving financial advice, nothing like that. But I mean, if we take a look at just this week alone, guys, just this week, in 1 week, we've seen CONY go up 20%. That's 1 week. That's not a month, okay? The bull run, I can tell you right now, the crypto bull run, especially if the spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved, is going to be way crazier than this. Okay. You guys will not believe your eyes at some of these crazy face melting, moonshot, eye popping kinds of gains. Okay. If you guys have never been in crypto, I'm telling you, as a crypto investor, firsthand experiencing one bull market personally through the entire thing, it's hard to believe. And it's easy to underestimate just how powerful these crypto bull runs can be. So, this is a win win for dividend and crypto investors if you know how to do it right. But, anyways, this is our video on why we think that YieldMax CONY ETF could be the best performer of all the YieldMax ETFs in 2024. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Please let us know in the comments below. Are y'all going to buy CONY? Are you bullish on it? Are you bearish? Are you in it for the crypto? Are you in it for the dividends? Let us know. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see y'all later. Peace.